Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. My name is Simon. This is my daily Bitcoin price action analysis. Oof, try and do that in one breath. It's actually quite difficult. I hope you're all well. And before I get into the bones of it, as they say, I just want to remind you, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Right, let's just have one more look at that monthly candle. Wow, that is a big one. That is a very bullish monthly candle. And the weekly, as long as it closes, as long as it really closes within this current range on the lower time frames, it's still going to look pretty bullish. It wouldn't look too good if it closed down here, because that would be a significant rejection from near to the all-time high. But with only how long left? 1 day and 7 hours for the weekly closure. Unless something disastrous happens on a kind of 4-hour time frame or less, then, the green stuff continues. This is the 4-hour, which I think kind of encapsulates most of the price action going back really to the middle of the week. After this impulsive move up, Bitcoin's kind of cooled off a bit. And you can see that yourself. I don't often talk about indicators, but as you've heard me talk about before, the BBWP is an excellent measure of volatility, and you would see this is highly volatile with a cooling off period. Now, if I just get the BBWP up so that you can all see it at the bottom, there she blows. Now, as you can see, the volatility increased from this area, got right up to these red lines are like maximum volatility. So don't expect it to stay there for too long, but it did. It stayed up there for quite a while. And then, as you can see, volatility has then declined. And BBWP is, as I've said in previous videos, just a measure of how wide the Bollinger Bands are, but in a percentile way. There's a Bollinger Band width index as well, which does it in a slightly different way. But BBWP does it in a percentage way. So you can see it's getting down. What would be extremely good for more upside would be if this wiggles its way down. So if volatility stays low and the BBWP comes all the way back down to these low readings, and when you see a blue, you get a low reading. This is all pretty low along here. What was significant about the Valentine's Day range of doom, as I like to refer to it, is that Bitcoin didn't break down. It had ups and downs, but it didn't break down. And if something similar happens along here, that will look good for more upside. What wouldn't look good for more upside is if volatility cools off, and then on its next expansion, price starts to come down, because that would then signify increasing volatility to the downside. So as long as Bitcoin doesn't break down from here, if volatility cools off like it is, and then you get expansion of volatility again with price going upwards, that would look really good for another move up. And that's right, it would be an all-time high. So a lot of things that need to happen before that occurs, but it's just interesting to see an indicator demonstrating what you can see in front of you, or I can see in front of me. Obviously, I don't know if you're looking at the screen or not. Hopefully you are. Otherwise, probably not much point in me doing this video. But there we are, sort of 4-hour cooling off after a big move up. Now, the 15-minute explains why I've got these two lines on. So let's go straight in and look at those guys. And as you can see, so this is the overall range that I've got at the moment is from 58 it's basically the same as yesterday, from 58 to 50, call it, up to pretty much 64,000, but on the lower time phase, more like 63,750, and then something in between around 61,000. I hope I said those numbers correctly. And along the way, there has been a series, this is on the 15-minute time frame, of higher lows, and also a series of lower highs, thus creating a flag. And in the context of the previous bullish action, you probably call that a bull flag. It could break down or break up. And clearly no one knows, because the future is impossible to know. And so it's good to or what I do in my tiny brain is I have a plan for both. So as it's currently printing a sort of mini downtrend, or, on very, that's probably on like the minute or 5-minute time frame, but it's in a mini downtrend there. For this to to give it more upside and at least retry the top of the range, I'd want to see this start to print, instead of lower highs and lower lows as it is on the lower time frames, low time frames, I'd like to see it print some higher lows and higher highs. And at that point, you think, okay, well, this mini downtrend is resolved or finished, and now we've got a mini uptrend, and then maybe a salt on the top, or at the very least, challenge the midpoint of this top half of the range, which it's not been very well respected, but it would come in at around, just call it 62,450, 62,500, something like that. A few lower time frame closures above there, and that would look smashing for some more upside. Up until then, though, there is a continuation here of lower lows and lower highs. And because it is also currently below that 62.5 region, you would, or my eyes are looking for this to potentially break out of this little flag, kiss the, and say basically hello to the midpoint of the overall range. Now, it's likely to get resistance there. And so what would be more savvy trading if I was going to short Bitcoin would be for a break of the mini support line, middle of the range, middle of this overall range, and then retest it. And then that would be good. That would be a better trade, a more savvy trade than shorting support, which you should never do. I say you can do what you like. It's what I should never do. Never short support, one of the 3 golden rules. And so, I'd say Bitcoin is cooling off here. There's no clear direction for the lower time frames. The higher time frames, I think the direction is very clear to everyone, and that is up. And I think I'll leave it at that for now. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow, look at the chart, and it's just grinded its way down to here somewhere, or maybe something dramatic has happened. But as always, I'll follow the price action and do what it tells me to. I'm going to end this now. I hope you have a great Saturday. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, be so kind and give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And we'll do it all again tomorrow. Take care.